Pro wrestling fans were devastated when Stardust left the WWE, but after 6 long years, we finally got the return of Cody Rhodes, his less famous persona. And I find Cody's story inspiring. From making a few $1,000s a year, to rebuilding himself and signing a multi-million-dollar deal with the WWE. Cody with the absolute Giga Chad move. Most fans are excited as they should be, but not everyone. Mark Multiverse is angry. He betrayed AEW! In this video, I'm gonna talk about Cody's WWE return, and I'm actually going to talk about legit tweets from people that I've seen on Twitter. And I'm young, I look like a baby, but the last thing I want to do right now is start a Twitter drama. I'm only 22, but I feel too old for this crap. So instead of showing you tweets, I'm going to use the Mark Multiverse. The way I see it, Cody did more than enough with AEW. He helped create an alternative to the WWE and not only give viewers something else to watch, he made pro wrestling more healthy. We basically have more job opportunities for professional wrestlers, and I admire that. Like I've said, Cody is an absolute Chad, but he betrayed AEW. How did he betray AEW? They couldn't find an agreement and he joined a different company. Imagine if we had that mentality in sports. Everyone is a traitor then. Cody didn't have to stay. None of the wrestlers in AEW have to stay in AEW. None of the wrestlers in the WWE have to stay in the WWE. This viewer loyalty to the company gives me such virgin vibes. Not virgin vibes, like legit virgin vibes. Touch the grass. Vince and Tony ain't gonna f you. Cody legit changed the wrestling business. He did more than enough. And if he felt like he earned more money, if he felt like he earned better opportunities in AEW, well, that's his personal opinion. That's his personal choice to not stay with the company. Well, he's a hypocrite! He said he's never going to return. He did say that. I think he did. I think I've seen multiple interviews where he said, yeah, I'm done with the WWE. But people, opinions change. And yes, it's hypocritical, maybe, but I change my opinions, especially on wrestling, like every damn week. I can see a new persona, new gimmick, new theme song, and maybe at first, I'm not that big of a fan, but then my opinion changes. I can have an opinion on certain wrestling style, and at first I might hate it. Then a few years later, it might be my favorite style of wrestling. And I know that is a shitty example, but what I'm trying to say is, people's opinions change. CM Punk said he's never going to wrestle again.
Never, ever, ever!
But he did. He had a change of heart. I feel like Cody felt limited in AEW because he was the EVP, and with every booking decision he makes, he will get criticized. With every W he gets, he will get criticized. And like he said in an interview, at the end of the day, he wants to be a wrestler. Cody knew that it's not gonna be the same Cody Rhodes in the WWE. He knew WWE are signing a completely different character right now. So he felt comfortable returning. If he felt like Tony Khan doesn't appreciate him enough, I think that was the right call. He used AEW! He used AEW to get popular! Okay, if that's your mentality, then you can say the same thing about every single WWE wrestler who joined AEW. The only reason they're in AEW is because they got popular in the WWE. I honestly don't agree with that. I think it's just business, and if Tony Khan sees someone popular, he's going to sign them, and it's a perfect business decision, getting popular dudes on your roster. Same goes with the WWE. You can summarize this whole video by me just saying it's not that big of a deal. People are criticizing Cody for following the footsteps of Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, rebuilding himself, becoming a bigger name in professional wrestling, using AEW, and then returning to the WWE. I think it's kinda absurd to believe that he built AEW, all of this, just to return to the WWE. I don't think it was planned. It just sort of happened. But people were booing Cody, and now they're cheering him in the WWE. That is legit true. I know that people hated Cody in AEW lately, and now they love him in the WWE. But that's what a change of scenery does. That's why sometimes I see a wrestler like Dolph Ziggler. He kind of suffered from overexposure. Nobody really cares about him. Nobody takes him seriously. If he would join AEW, you would see a completely different side of Dolph Ziggler. You would start caring about him again. Change of scenery matters, and also overexposure. Now that deserves a completely different video, but in my opinion, guys like Bray Wyatt really suffered from overexposure, and if now we would get Bray Wyatt in the WWE again, it would be a bigger deal than ever before. I would like to think that WWE are doing it on purpose, you know, but I don't want to give them that much credit. Marks, I want to change your mentality. I've been making videos for years now, and I never really had a problem with other people's opinions on or whatever you feel about pro wrestling. But here's the thing. I think at least I want my audience to understand that none of it is as deep as you think. What you need to care about is the level of entertainment the product you are getting. And try not to exaggerate. Like, I will always criticize pro wrestling. You will too. We will always criticize the WWE, but sometimes we really jump into conclusions for no reason whatsoever. Remember when people said Bianca Belair got buried? Well, is she really? Is she really buried, Marks? And for me personally, it's a bit different. You know, I'm making YouTube videos. Obviously, I have to make some points. But even though it's my job, I'm trying to give pro wrestling a chance. I'm trying to be more open, and I'm seeing people saying, does this guy ever make positive videos? Obviously, if I'm making a critique video, I'm going to be negative. That's the whole point of the video. Like right now, I'm criticizing wrestling fans. I guess if you're watching my channel, you understand what I'm trying to say. I also hate the bias in professional wrestling. WWE, AEW, who gives a shit, my man? Who cares? Just watch the show. You don't have to pick sides. None of these companies are good and evil, it's just business. AEW just did a better job at first, at least, to kind of give you this fans show vibe. And I think Cody is doing so far great in the WWE. I like the presentation, I like his entrance, I like that he kept the theme song, he got a lot of pyro, I love the attire, he looks like a star. And people, like I've said, I honestly see Cody as the face of the WWE, a potential face of the WWE. You have Roman Reigns, who's a face of the WWE, but a heel, and then you have Cody, who's also the face of the WWE, but a babyface. This is the biggest match possible right now when it comes to the main WWE roster. You know, I'm not talking about The Rock and all that, but Cody versus Roman is the most important match in Roman Reigns' Universal Championship title reign. And you know it. I would go as far as Cody is the only one who should dethrone Roman Reigns. And this promo might be actually building towards it. And that's why I like Cody. I didn't like him as much before, but now I realized how much of a professional wrestler Cody is. I like pro wrestlers like Drew McIntyre, Edge, Randy Orton, and all of these guys who are just living and breathing pro wrestling. I see Cody as a guy who deserves to win the WWE Undisputed Championship. When he's talking about his father and that the reason he came back is the WWE Championship, I know it might not be the only reason or even the main reason, but I believe him. And I've seen people saying, wow, Cody is using words like wrestling, wrestler, belt. People think it's an accident. It's intentional. WWE know what they're doing. They're bringing in Cody Rhodes, a professional wrestler from a wrestling family, a rich wrestling family. WWE know that if we need a big babyface, we need someone that the fans will appreciate. And that's what the fans love. That's why fans loved CM Punk. He didn't follow WWE's rules. So I find all of this Cody Rhodes hate really weird, obsessive, and unnecessary. Let's focus on hating Nia Jax instead. And yes, I believe Cody will be and should be the next WWE Undisputed Champion. Sue me, see if I care. The Great One, peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.